Hi, ladies. Welcome to this free webinar, which I'm very, very happy to bring you. My name is Judy Weber, and I, along with my twin sister and partner in crime, business partner, Jan Copeland, we run Livy Girl Coaching, Livy Girl Radio, and Livy Girl TV. And also a free Facebook group for women in real estate, which if you're not a part of, I would highly encourage you to join the nearly 25,000 ladies in real estate, not just from across the US and Canada, but literally from around the world. And that group is called Girls Guide to Outrageous Real Estate Success. All right, so I am going to go through our presentation. It's kind of like in two parts. One is about focus, and the second is about marketing and what it takes to be successful. And in the middle, I have a little extra bonus for you. So as I said, I'll be asking for interaction throughout because that's what makes it really fun. So open up your chat bar, and as we go through, I'll be pausing and doing that. But I'm not going to be able to take questions until I pause and kind of toggle out of my PowerPoint. So without further ado, let's jump on in. Okay. It's always fun to deal with technology. Okay. All right. So today we are talking about focus and marketing and success and what that is all about. And as I usually start my webinars, I want to first send a warm congratulations to you, because I know your time is valuable. And believe me, I'm going to try to jam in a lot. I talk a lot, please forgive me, but I'm not into giving fluff, right? I want to give you action items that you can actually implement and move your business forward. So that's what today is all about. So congratulations for taking the time, whether you're here live or listening to the recording, okay? And you're in the right place to take your business to the next level. As I said, I'm not a BSer. You're gonna get good stuff. And I'm gonna want your feedback as we go through, you know, as to what you're learning. So I want you to expect a transformation, and a transformation can happen if you allow it, if you open up your heart, if you open up your mind, and you are really, really ready and willing and able to hear what I'm telling you and trust the process, kind of trust what I'm saying. All right, so to get things started, I have a very important question for you. And that is, what are you doing right now? You might say, what do you mean, what am I doing right now? I'm listening to you. Well, that's my question. Are you focusing on this webinar? Or might you be doing something else, right? As women, we're natural multitaskers, and that's a good thing, but also kind of a bad thing, because we can think we can multitask. Oh, let me do this email. Let me look at my Facebook messages while Judy's just getting started. No, that's very bad, okay? And so that's what we're talking about, focus, okay? Who's with me? All right. Focus is a critical, yes, I see, excellent. Yay, thank you for the wave. I love the love, and Lynn. All right. Listen, focusing is a critical life skill, and it's a critical, absolutely critical business skill. All right, now I have to move my doodle-doo here so I can read what I wrote. Okay. Focus is important because it's truly the gateway to all thinking, right? If you're not focused, you can't be thinking right. And I'm all about thinking right. Now, for me, I go to Philippians 4:8 on what we should be thinking about. What's right, what's true, what's noble, what's pure, what's admirable, what's lovely. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things. And that's what focusing is all about, thinking. So what does that involve? Thinking involves perception, how we perceive things. Your perception is your reality, right? You got to focus on what you're seeing in front of you. Your memory has to do with focus, the ability to learn and reason and problem solve and make decisions. And if you can't think effectively, then you're not going to be producing the quality of work necessary to be successful, right? You've got to focus on the thing at hand. I interviewed Neva Williams, who is really tearing it up on YouTube. And she's a mom of 2 young kids, and her husband has a job that takes him away for days and sometimes a whole week at a time. And that's going to be coming up in a Livy Girl Radio podcast coming up. But one thing that she said, and that I found to be absolutely true in this way of focus, ladies, you can't think too far ahead. You should really focus on what you need to do today, right? Let tomorrow worry about tomorrow. You take care of today. And we're going to talk about the importance of that. But that's what I'm talking about. I think overwhelm comes in when we look at somebody, which we shouldn't do. We don't compare because you'll always lose because there's nobody like you, right? So when we worry too much about what everybody else is doing and how far maybe somebody else is in their business and how we feel like we're not, then it just makes us feel overwhelmed, and then bad things start to happen, right? Okay, so it's not just about this overall idea of focus, you know, like focusing on one thing at a time, but as I mentioned, it's about focusing on the right things. And so I found another interesting tidbit that I just had to put into words, and that is, to be truly successful, an entrepreneur needs to be ruthless. That wasn't my word, that was somebody else's word. And I should have written down who this was, because this is amazing. An entrepreneur, which is what you are, dear lady, okay? You are not working for the brokerage. You are your own boss. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be ruthless with your time management, with your opportunity management, don't you love that? And with your resource allocation. I'm going to talk about each of those things very briefly. So one of the most important yet most difficult skills of management is learning to say no. And I can't see everybody, but you know, raise your hand or say something in the chat if you agree with me that saying no is kind of hard, right? Yeah. There are certain opportunities that I don't want you to say no to. I don't want you to say no to a potential opportunity to meet new people, because connection is so important. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I also don't want you to say no to money generating activities, like showing someone a home. Let me clarify that. Like showing a qualified buyer a home, not just going, you know, willy-nilly when someone says, hey, could you show me this house? No, we're not in the business of showing houses. We're in the business of selling houses. All right, I'm digressing. I better stay here. Okay, so as I talked about, time management, we have to be ruthless with our time management. What is time management? Well, that's all about, how do I spend my day? What does my calendar look like? And do you time block? That's critically important. Opportunity management. What opportunities should I be pursuing? And what opportunities should I say no to? And in part, that really has to do with how you have set up your business and the parameters that you've set on your business. And finally, resource allocation. Where in the heck do I put my money? Where do I put my time? Where do I put my effort? So they all kind of focus on this same idea of, you know, what do you focus on? They're all part of this big idea of focus. All right, so I feel like I said a lot of things. So I want to pause for a moment, and I want to ask you to please ask yourself, on an average day, what do I focus on? And I just want you to take a moment and write that in the chat. What do you focus on? Or if you're on the phone and you don't have chat available, just write it down, or really think about it. I want you to write it down. What do you focus on? If you weren't here in this webinar right now, what would you be doing? What would you be focusing on? So when you're trying to think about, my gosh, I don't know, what the heck do I focus on? You can ask yourself these questions. How do I spend my time most days? Right? How do I spend my money? What do I spend it on? Getting my nails done? Or maybe investing in my business? Treating myself to a massage? Yes, I hope we treat ourselves. I don't treat myself enough. Anybody else can say that? We need to treat ourselves kindly as we do our children. There's an eye-opener, right? It is for me. What do you think about when you're, again, what do I focus on? I don't know. Think about what you think about. Because if you're like me, unless you intentionally think about what you're thinking about, you really don't think about what you're thinking about. You just think about it, right? And what are your priorities? Let me tell you something. If you say, I don't have time to market, I don't have time to exercise. I say that every day. I don't have time to fill in the blank. It's not because you don't have time. It's because you don't prioritize it. It's because you don't value it. Okay? And believe me, I love you ladies so much. I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. What do we focus on? All right. So when we get our heads wrapped around what in the world we really are spending our time on and what our focus is, then there's that other part of it that's trying to always knock us off course. Do you get easily distracted and feel like You can't focus on any one thing because, you start to do one thing and you're distracted and you go over here. You might jump on social media, you get a text and you feel like you have to stop what you're working on so that you can answer a text. If that's you, I'd love to see you wave or say, oh yeah, that's me. Yep, I see Lynn waving. Yeah. Hey, we're multitaskers. That's like our innate ability. And yet it's a blessing and a curse all at the same time. We need to focus on the moment, at the task at hand. Excuse me. And so I found this amazing, quote that I put up on Instagram over the weekend. Starve your distractions. Feed your focus. Starve your distractions. Feed your focus. Another thing about focus, and these aren't just like cutesy little quotes that we just look at and move on. I want you to fully immerse yourself in this webinar. And I'm going to be giving you the replay. And I would encourage you to watch it again, because every time you watch it, you're going to pick up something new. I guarantee it. So the other quote I have here is, what you focus on grows, good or bad. And so if you focus on, they say this is the law of attraction and intentionality or whatever. I don't get into that kind of stuff. But maybe it's just semantics. But here's what I know. If you focus on growth, then you're going to grow. If you focus on what you don't have, you're going to have more of it, right? So if you focus on opportunities, I'm going to tell you something. More and more opportunities are going to pop up. Woohoo! They're going to pop up. You're going to be like, whoa! But if you tend to be a lady who focuses on nothing's happening in my business, deals are falling apart, everyone I reach out to, they've decided to go another way, or they're not quite ready yet, and you're just allowing yourself to go into a, pit of wallow and despair, then you're going to get more of it. And so I encourage you to stay positive. And let me tell you something. Can I share a secret with you? We all deal with that, no matter how successful you are. I spoke last week with Dottie Herman, who is the keynote speaker of our upcoming women's conference. She's Unstoppable Live. And guess what? She deals with this too. This is a woman who is worth, I don't even know how much. Uh-oh. Please mute yourself. Please don't unmute yourself. Thank you so much. Okay, I need you to please mute yourself, whoever just unmuted yourself. And please don't make me have to do it, because that'll take time away from what I'm doing. Thank you so much. But you really need to understand that we all deal with the monkey on our back that says we're not worthy enough, that we're not pretty enough, we're not young enough, we're not old enough, we're not whatever enough. But we need to focus on the positive, and no matter if we have a bad day, we need to brush ourselves off and get up and do more of what we just got knocked down doing. So if you got knocked down because you were door knocking and someone slammed the door in your face, don't go back in your car and cry. Then you say, okay, they didn't need me. Great. I'm that much closer to my next person who does need me, right? Okay. Who's with me? If you're with me, I would love to see ya. Amen, sister, in the chat. Okay. So when we talk about focus, there's three things that I want to talk about a little bit more deeply. And that is, number one, what should I be focusing on, Jude? Secondly, how do I maintain focus on those things? And third, how can I avoid distractions? Okay, so let's talk about what you should be focusing on. Excuse me. Number one, you need to be focusing on your schedule. I don't care if you keep it digitally, and I don't care if you keep it in paper. I love paper. I love paper. So I like to have it in hard copy, although I do have Google Calendar on my phone to keep me honest, right? But you need to focus on your calendar and your schedule. What are you doing? How are you spending your time? And you need to time block. And believe me, I only have time to go over these things in a very broad brush, but I need you to commit to the time blocking. It's that important. If you don't, your day will get away from you. So focus on your calendar and getting it straight. Every night, look to the day ahead. Every morning, refresh yourself on what's coming. Secondly, you need to be focusing on your goals. Do you have goals? So many women that I speak to don't have goals. They say, well, I'd like to have X number of transactions, or I wish I could make blah, blah, blah. No. What's your goal? And be aggressive on this. Stretch yourself. But you need to have the goal. You need to have it in writing, and you need to have it in front of you every day. You need to remind yourself of where you're headed. You can't hit a target if you have none. Okay? And you need to push yourself and know where you're headed. What else should you be focusing on? Well, money generating activities, because that's what we're in business for. Okay? Of course we want to impact our communities. Absolutely. And we want to help people. That's our joy. That's our innate gift to, relate to people and help them as women. That's why we only want to work with women, because we do things in a certain way. And I frankly think we do it darn well, right? When we get out of our own way. So these money generating activities are providing amazing service to our clients, connecting with past clients so that we stay top of mind, and also connecting with prospects and other business owners and, our ambassadors and cheerleaders. That's the money making activities, connecting. Okay. What else should we be focusing on? Marketing strategy. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, a little bit more specifically, but marketing. Don't fly by the seat of your pants. You need to have a strategy. You need to not work just in your business, but you need to work on your business, and that involves strategy. And ladies, that's the funnest part of what I do. I love to strategize. Strategizing is when you can be creative and really map it out. And then you have something down in writing so that you don't feel like you're spinning your wheels and, scratching your head. What am I going to do today? No, it's mapped out. And finally, you should be focusing on your mindset. That's ginormous, ladies. And so all this comes down to being intentional. And the definition of that is, something that's done by intention or design, something that's intended. And you say, well, that's a lot of the same word. Okay. Well, here's the antonym. Here's the opposite of intentional. Left to chance. And think about it. Think of any successful business, big or small, local or national, or, global. They don't leave things to chance. Nike did not get to be a premier brand by winging it, and neither will you. Okay. And also you need to be mindful, and being mindful as far as focus goes is being aware of how you are presenting, being aware of how you're showing up, being aware of how you look online. It's being mindful, right? Being mindful of how you speak and the words that you say and how you look when you say it and all those things. Okay, so that was what we should be focusing on. Now we're talking about, well, how do I maintain focus on those things? All right, I have a couple of different exercises of ways to improve your focus. And you can choose any one or several of these, but there's important things to talk about briefly. All right, first, prayer or meditation. I know when I'm not in the Bible enough and talking to God enough because I just feel out of whack. Maybe you're the same. Maybe you like yoga. Maybe that's where you find yourself refreshed. But that absolutely helps you focus because it gets you grounded in truth and in right thinking. Really, it does. So spending time, I think it's best in the morning to get yourself set up in prayer and meditation is huge to help with your focus. Secondly, exercise. I've been talking about exercise for like a year, ladies, and you guys should kick my butt because I'm not doing it on a consistent basis. I know I should, but obviously I don't value it enough, right? Because if I did, I'd find the time. But exercise absolutely helps keep you focused. How about this one? When you're distracted, create a distraction to-do list. What do I mean by that? Okay. If you're like me, you have wonderful ideas that come to you when you're working on something else. You might be working on your marketing, social media content calendar, or you might be thinking about, what you're going to be doing as far as, visiting with your past clients, with your gifting and things like that. So as you're working on that, another idea might pop into your brain. And then so that you don't forget, you're going to get off task and go jump to this other thing. And don't do that. Instead, when you're working, have a blank piece of paper or a blank notepad always next to you. And you just jot down that idea. Take the moment or two to write down that idea so that you capture what you were thinking about, that great idea, okay? But then you leave it there and you go back to the task at hand. If you do that consistently, you're going to teach yourself to stay on task. Okay, and similarly, I want you to work diligently on one thing, okay? One thing at a time for a set period of time. You know, there's a statistic or something that said the most productivity is when you work 45 minutes and take 10 or 15 minutes off. Well, you know, I'm not one to stick to rules of thumb because they may vary. Your attention span may be less, maybe a little bit more, but set a time. Again, it goes back to the calendar and the scheduling and the time blocking. Set a period of time and stay diligently on that task until it's completed or until the end of that time period has come before you move on to something else. And finally, practice active listening. Okay. Have you ever been talking to maybe your husband or maybe one of your kids or a client or something, and their phone goes off and it takes them off of looking at you, and now all of a sudden they're on the phone? Boy, that's a pain, isn't it? Well, that's what you're doing to yourself every time a text comes in or a private message comes in or a DM comes in or something and you go off task. Practice active listening to the person with whom you are sitting across from, right? Or with whom you're sharing a coffee with, and, you know, put your cell phone on silent. And with yourself, put it on silent. Okay, or come up with some way, you know, I'll check my phone, you know, every half an hour, whatever it is. That cell phone is a pain in the butt and it's a distractor. And also on focus, if you're working on something like in a Word document or in Canva, then get rid of your Facebook notifications and some other social media because it's a distractor. One other point on focus, and I found this to be true for me, and that is I want you to do your most taxing work, the hardest stuff, and or your most creative stuff first. And I call that swallow your frog. And I found this cute little thing that Mark Twain said. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, eat the biggest one first. Do your hardest stuff first, because then it's out of the way. The stress is gone or lessened because that hard thing is done. Okay? Now, how do I avoid distractions? Some of this is going to be somewhat repetitive of what we just talked about, but I just want to quickly go through these. Okay, look at this. How do I avoid distractions? Number one task at a time. Commit to it. Commit to whatever you're doing in the moment. I hope that you're committed to watching this webinar and paying attention, because that's when you're going to get the most out of it. Commit to turning off that cell phone, or if not turning it off, turn off that ringer. Commit to taking more breaks throughout the day, quick bursts of me time. You know what I like to do when I have some time? I like to go out and take a walk. I like to go out and take a drive because I mostly work from home. Or I like to watch like Netflix, whatever it happens to be, you know, Frasier or Seinfeld, something. So whatever your little burst of energize is, I want you to do that more often, okay? So then you don't get easily distracted because your mind will be focused now. You've had your break, now it's time to focus. Another way to avoid distractions is stay off social media unless it's scheduled social media time. You should have scheduled social media time in your calendar. You can also avoid distractions by clearing your workspace of anything else other than what you're working on. Also maintain that distraction to-do list that I mentioned a few moments ago. And also some of you may work best with some sort of background noise. And so I heard about Spotify's deep focus playlist and I listened briefly to it. And so if you're that kind of person where just listening to music without lyrics, just really pretty music, that's a really cool one that was highly recommended, and I found it to be soothing as well. Okay, so some final thoughts on focus. I want you to stop looking around. Stop comparing yourself to what everybody else is doing, because you're going to lose. And what I mean by that is because to you, you're going to look at them and think, oh my gosh, they're so much further along than me, and I'm such a loser, okay, which is a lie. That's your perception. That may or may not be true, and it probably isn't true, right? But don't compare. Don't look around. Focus on what's important to you. This is your business. All right, I want you to identify your top 2 or 3 priorities each day. I'd love you to do it at night and then again in the morning. Look at that. And I want you to write them down and keep them in front of you all day long to make sure that if you get nothing else done of the 50,000 things that you want to get done, who's with me, okay? The 50,000 things that you want to get done, you know you're going to get done those 2 or 3, okay? And I want you to accept the fact that maintaining focus isn't easy. I don't want you to beat yourself up if you get yourself, distracted, even daily. But the goal is not perfection, but getting better, improving. So commit to working on it each and every day. And Bruce Lee, I saw this quote. I was trying to find a really good one from a woman, but I didn't. But I love this enough to put it there. And that is, the successful warrior is just average, but with laser-like focus. And ladies, I really want this to sink in. The ladies that you're going to see at She's Unstoppable Live started where you started, the beginning of a business. So I think it's so easy for us to look at someone else and say, and kind of assume, well, maybe she has a husband that supports her and I don't. Maybe she has money and I don't. Maybe she, I don't know, insert what you think they have that you don't. But the super successful people are just people that are committed to their goals. First of all, they have their goals, they're committed to their goals, and they're laser focused and have that vision in sight and pursue it all day long. Okay? All right, so what's your biggest takeaway? I want to see if I don't screw myself up here and see if I can see the chat. I want to stop sharing for a moment and I want to read the chat because this is fun. Okay. All right, here's your chance to grab my attention. Okay, good morning. Hiding my face while I scarf down lunch. Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness, love you guys so much. Gosh, I should call out all your names, but now okay. So let's see. So we have Bonnie and Lynn and Bo and Irene comparing. No, we're not going to compare. And Mama Computer's being poopy. Okay, Carolina, it's very hard to say no. Kathy. I've gotten better at saying no. Jerry, the best practice you can do is say no 20 times a day. That's going to allow for more yeses. I love it. Tamara says, why can't I hear anything? I'm sorry. It must be on your end. I'm so sorry. Kathy, depends on the day. Following up with people I have met either briefly or seriously. Okay, Jerry, my focus is shifting. It has been on my team. Lead gen is my priority. Good. Lynn, I focus on my business, but I'm not as productive about it as I need to be. Jerry says squirrel. Jackie, yes, that's me. Jan, multitasking needs to end in order to focus. Okay. Irene, I spend an hour every day on myself or self-improvement to stay on track on my personal thoughts. That comes first before anything. Will there be a video recording? Yes. And I'm so sorry about your issues, Tamara. Okay. Amen. I forget what I asked you to say that for. Are we going to be able to get the PowerPoint presentation? Yes, ma'am. Uh-oh. Now my whole thing went kaplooky. Uh-oh. Oh, good. Now I'm back. Okay. Okay, laser focus is important, and I often think about the times you and Jan tell us to have blinders on. Yes, ma'am. Okay, coming out of my shyness of speaking is getting better. Excellent. All right, so very good. And I'm so sorry if I missed anyone, but that's just really fast. All right, so thank you for that. Your biggest takeaways, we just mentioned very briefly. All right, so now I want to get back to screen share and all right, so current slide. Okay, so I'm going to pause. I'm going to give a little commercial. So if you will please indulge me for like 5 minutes, I think it's very important for me to share with you something that's on my heart, and that is a personal invitation to come to She's Unstoppable Live. This is something that Jan and I have put together, and it's not a profit center for us. In fact, if you've seen what the hotel's charging, it's like, it's scary. But it's an investment. It's a movement that we are a part of, that we have begun, and that is to elevate and empower women in real estate. So these are not even all the speakers. And so I just wanted to pause, and I want to come out of this screen share if I can. And I want to take you to the website very briefly. And I appreciate your indulgence because I'm telling you, ladies, You are going to learn so much at this amazing 2 days coming up in the Metro DC area. Because you know what? It's time. It's time, ladies. It's time to build a real estate business that you love, right? Once upon a time, when you got your license, you had a dream. And if you're like most women, your dream was to have more flexibility with time, to have more money, to have a better life. And a bunch of you achieved it, but so many of you are struggling. And so we've created this 2-day event where an opportunity for you to learn from the most successful women in real estate. And we call it a life-changing, soul-rocking experience curated by women for women. Okay. And that's just not bunk. That's not just words. That's our heart. I mean, if this is how much I'm giving you away for free, how much you think you're going to get with all those amazing ladies on stage, women that are at the top of the industry. So what we put together is an experience, not just a conference, where it's going to be the key to taking your business from how in the heck do I do this to I got this. Like I say, it's more than an event. It's a movement. It's women coming together. It's time away to treat yourself to like a girls' night out, but it's 2 days long, and it's a time to refuel and remember why you got into this business and to really recommit yourself to it. It's part retreat, part conference, and 100% sisterhood. And so I want you to go to she'sunstoppablelive.com and read about our keynote speaker, Dottie Herman, whose heart is as big as anyone's. Truly, she is so committed to empowering women in real estate. We're looking here at, Tracy Tudor, who's not only a star, but she's an amazing team leader. Sue Yannicone, she is the senior executive leadership of Coldwell Banker. Lauren Taylor, who is savvy house hunting. She's an innovator. She was a runner-up at Inman last year. Lourdes Velasquez, tearing it up on YouTube. Deborah Trapin, she is a staple in real estate speaking. We have Tracy Hicks, all things real estate. We love all things real estate, right? We have video experts. We have storytelling experts. We have Pinterest experts. We have a stylist coming. We have Heather Osier. We have the president of the Women's Council. We have Real Estate Staging Association founder. We have Carl Carter, who is the executive director and founder of Beverly Carter Foundation. What we put together is an experience for you. It's going to be all girly and all awesomeness, and you are going to hate yourself if you miss this. And I have a special promo code for you. But I want you to see the sponsors who jumped on board with us. Think about this. Yes, we're newer. We just had our 1-year anniversary, but look what we're doing. Look at these powerhouses that we brought together, not just in the way of speakers, but how about these sponsors, right? And one more thing I want to show you, and then we're going to get back to the program. And I so thank you for your indulgence, okay? And that is 10 reasons not to miss it. Oh, 2 things. You're going to get a 50+ page workbook of summaries of what the ladies are going to be talking about. And it's freaking phenomenal what you're going to be getting for $249, but I have a better price for you. So look on the site, read about 10 reasons why you need to be here. But I just want to, for 2 seconds, talk about this. She's Unstoppable Live for you if you have great ideas for your business, but you're overwhelmed, or you don't even know where to begin to implement these great ideas. She's Unstoppable Live is for you if you know you need to follow up, but you feel like when you do, it's kind of salesy and sleazy and you just don't know how to do it. She's Unstoppable Live for you is for you if you're overwhelmed and you're exhausted. You want to get off of that hamster wheel and you're ready to make a change. It's for you if financial security is at the top of your wish list and it's not just going to be a wish, it's going to be a commitment, and you're going to know how to follow through to make it happen. It's for you if you crave the sisterhood and community of like-minded women. Sometimes our loved ones, God bless them, they just tear us down and they say, are you sure you shouldn't go back to your corporate job? Or are you sure this is good for you? It's so hard to overcome that. She's Unstoppable Live is for you if you suffer from ADHD and shiny object syndrome. It's time to take control of your business and your life. It's all about you. So I want to stop my share to come back to you to say, I really hope that you're going to be able to come to this event and really invest in yourself and your business. You will not be sorry. And that I can guarantee. So I've prepared a special promo code for you. When you go to she'sunstoppablelive.com, you can get a better price, not $249 for you. And actually it's $349. We have to update our website. But it's $199 for you with this code REF199, and that's a savings of $150. So done on the commercial. Thank you for your indulgence. I really want to meet you. Jan and I really want to meet you at the end of that pink carpet in Dulles, Virginia on April 9th this year. All right. So let's get back to the program. All right. We talked about focus, and now we're going to talk about marketing. And wow, 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 wow. The definitions of marketing are all over the map. Here's one. How about this one? And I just want to read a couple of them. And then I want to get to what I say marketing is and what I want you to kind of embrace as marketing, because it's simple and it's doable and it's a heck of a lot more understandable. The American Marketing Association, in their infinite wisdom, they define marketing as this: the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivery and exchange of ideas and offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and the society at large. Are you crazy? What in the heck does that gobbledygook mean, right? Please, let's break it down. Other definitions are: marketing is the communication, the connection, and the engaging with your target market. That's kind of good. That's kind of cool, right? How about this one? Creating an irresistible experience and how you tell your story to attract customers. That's pretty good. How about this one? There are several different types of marketing: one-on-one marketing, real-time marketing, viral marketing, digital marketing. It's like, all right. So let's get back to the simple. There is beauty in simplicity. Can I get an amen on that one? Simple, simple. Okay, I don't want to have to think about marketing. Tell me what it is, so very simply, so I can attack it, right? I'm into attacking what I need to do to build my business, and I hope you are too. So what I say the definition of marketing is very simple: building a genuine, authentic, and real, sincere, and caring relationship with people. With what people? With everybody, right? With your target market, which is your perfect client, and with your influencers of that target market. Who are the influencers of the people you want to work with? Other people, right? So it could be your past clients. It could be local business owners. It could be any number of people. But it's about relationships at the end of the day. Relationships are what real estate's all about, and really what marketing is all about. So how do you build these relationships? Well, again, it's that simple word of connect, connecting with people. And I have a secret for you. Connecting is lead gen. You know, if you go online and talk about lead gen for realtors, I mean, so many different people trying to ram all these must-haves down your throat. Here's what I know. I've talked to literally probably a couple hundred women who are making several $100,000. And a great percentage of them don't even have a CRM. Now, I don't recommend that, but I tell you that to emphasize the fact that connecting is what lead gen is all about. So you do not need Facebook ads. You do not need a YouTube channel. You do not need to go door knocking, okay? You don't need to do any one thing, but you darn well need to connect, okay? And so I want you to just think now about how should you connect with people? And if you don't want to take time to do that now, because, you know, we need to keep going, I want you to really think about that. I want you to come up with ideas and say, how do I want to connect with people? Because it's really up to you. And that's the freedom that comes with owning your own business and being an entrepreneur, right? So I want to let you know about aspects of marketing. There's 3 aspects, okay? The first one is branding. And branding, there's a lot of confusion about what branding is, but branding is all about the logo, the colors, and the fonts and all that kind of stuff. But overall, it's kind of a look and feel, because you are your brand. An ad is not a brand, okay? A single post is not a brand. And to me, how I can wrap my head around this the best is when I think about an Instagram feed, and some of you may or may not be on Instagram, but think about, if not, you know, Instagram, maybe Facebook, or just think about you, okay? So you are your brand. So when you show up What are the values that you hold dear? How do you conduct yourself? What do you want people to think of you and your business when they see you? And if you have that online presence, then how do you look and feel in the fonts that you use and the colors? And really, it's about emotion, because you know what, ladies? They always say, don't sell the steak, sell the sizzle. The sizzle is your emotions. So that's what I say about the look and feel. That's the branding aspect of marketing. So I promised to-dos, right? And we talked about a couple other to-dos, but we're giving you more. Here, let's talk about to-dos with respect to branding. Number one, I want you to review your logo. Do you have a logo? If you don't, then you need to go over to livygirl.com/resources. No, I'm sorry, livygirl.com/shop, because we have, I think, 100 logos that you can pick up for like very little money. But it's very important that you don't just go with your brokerage logo. You need your own logo. Why? Because you're in business for yourself. You're an entrepreneur. You are a business. You are a brand, and you need a logo. But I want you to look at your logo if you have one. Does it really look like you? Do the colors speak to you? Do you feel yourself come through? And if not, maybe it's time to revamp it. I also want you to review your online profiles, your social media profiles. How do they look? Your profile pic and maybe your cover photo. Does it really speak to you? And the same thing with Zillow, Realtor, everywhere you are online. Third, I want you to think about brand you. Now, brand you is a foundational element of what we at Livy Girl Coaching teach. And again, it's all about you. It's your business. So what are you all about? What are your values? What do you stand for? Who do you want to work with? And that's huge, so that you take time to think these things through, because most people don't. They're just running. They're chasing their tails, and they're not being strategic. And I hope that is not you. So I have to move my thing here so I can tell you, ladies, request your brand you questionnaire, which is a bunch of questions that can help you to kind of put down in writing what your brand is all about. Okay? Judy@livygirl.com. Ask for the brand new questionnaire. I'm happy to send it to you. All right, so that was the branding aspect of marketing. Now I want to talk about messaging. And messaging is all about your words and your graphics, to the extent they say something, and also your content. So I have some to-dos for you on this. I want you to review your online profiles and social media for not the look and feel this time, but for your words and for your graphics. Do they tell your story? Do they give the reader an idea of what it would be like to work with you? I need your messaging to be pointed to your perfect client. And the only way that happens is when you start with knowing who in the heck you're going after. And if you're going after the world and you don't have a niche, you're killing yourself. Because if you know who you're going after and you know that ideal client, that perfect client really well, meaning you know what they do for a living generally, you know what their hobbies are, you know what TV shows they watch, or what what movies they like, and what books they read, and all these things. If you know what keeps them up at night, that's when your messaging can really kind of speak to them in a very compelling way. And that's what I want you to think about as you're going through this brand you exercise and as you're reviewing your online profiles and things, okay? Secondly, I want you to review your emails that you're sending to your database. Hey, you are reaching out to your database regularly, right? And I want you to look at your emails and to evaluate how compelling they are. And in particular, are you providing value and information that's helpful to them? And is your subject line, is your headline something that's compelling to really get the email opened in the first place? Okay, and so I have a success tip for you. I want you to head over to talkingshrimp.com/subject lines. That's a freebie from an amazing copywriter from Manhattan. And she gives you 33 compelling email subject lines. And just reading through hers, you may or may not be able to apply them for you kind of as is, but they will get the creative juices flowing. So you definitely should head on over to talkingshrimp.com/subject lines. And I believe she has some other freebies as well, but that one is a beautiful one. All right, the third and final aspect of marketing that we're going to be talking about today is delivery. And delivery is all about, how are you going to deliver what you're saying? Is it going to be by video? Is it going to be by social media post or postcard or in person or, who the heck knows, door knocking? How are you going to deliver your message? So your first to do here is I want you to choose one or two methods of delivery to focus on this week or maybe this month. And I want you to really finesse it. I want you to take time to think it through. And notice I said one. One's great. Maybe two. Two's being aggressive. But I want you to own one way. Okay? So remember we talked about earlier, focusing on one thing at a time. So I would encourage you to do one, obviously one at a time, and maybe just say, you know what, I'm gonna choose one marketing delivery. I'm gonna focus this week on really taking a sharp look at my social media posts. Or, I'm really going to attack my farm. And so I want to look at the postcards I'm sending and maybe even map out some activities or what I'm going to be doing for the next, 3 months or 6 months. I want you to choose one, complete that. And then if you're really feeling good about that and aggressive, maybe go on to two. But I need you to focus on one thing at a time. And now it's time for some truth. A truth bomb, right? And don't worry, there's no cursing here. Okay. So the truth in love is video ain't going nowhere. And it's only going to become more important. And I know that may make some of you really just want to throw up. I mean, I get it. Can I tell you another secret? Okay. My husband got me a computer camera, which is, fancy schmance, but I still use the one that came with the computer. Why? Because it's more forgiving. And you don't see my wrinkles and my dinkles as much. So believe me, I feel your pain when you say, Judy, I'm not doing video, but I want you to hear me. Are you more committed to your wrinkles or to your success? Are you more committed to your excuses or to your success? Because that's what it comes down to. Okay? So I want you to have fun with video marketing. I want you to be creative. And unfortunately, the funny real estate video, I tried these, as I was preparing for this, and that can't play. It comes up unavailable. I don't know why. It's available on YouTube. And the Jessica Edwards and Friends, you need to look her up too. But I do want to take a moment to play this because I want you to see this bottom one, because that did work. I don't know why the others don't, but just for a moment. And I don't want you to say, oh my God, I couldn't do that. Okay. I want you to raise your right hand. I will not say, oh my gosh, I will not freak out when I watch this video. And I will not think that I can't do something like it. Okay. This one is a higher production video, but I picked it because it's goofy, it's fun, and I want you to appreciate the fact that perfection is not required. If I can get my cursor to move. Where the heck is my cursor? It disappeared on me. Okay, maybe, no, darn it. Boy, this is a pain. Where the heck is my cursor? Oh, here we go. There it is. Okay, here we go. Yay. He's a goofball. This thing had, I don't even know how many hits. Tens of thousands of hits.
Do you like real estate and baby goats? I do. I'm top producing agent Spencer Fritz. I thought you were in
Now think about it. Maybe you're not funny, but if you are, you can do something like this. Okay, one more thing.
Yeah, I do. Farming, I do that too.
Funny, right? Who wouldn't Who wouldn't relate to that? All right. So, all right. I said that to encourage you. Video marketing can be serious. It could be funny. It could be informative. Just have fun with it. And I know there's so much more I could say about that, but do it. Okay. And I'm going to encourage you at the end to stretch yourself, because the most successful entrepreneurs are not comfortable every single day. We push ourselves beyond our limits because we want to stretch ourselves to get to the next level. And so I encourage you to do that. And by the way, we have think about this, 3 or 4 video marketing experts at She's Unstoppable Live coming at you from 3 different perspectives, 3 or 4, however many there are. I forget if it's 3 or 4 different perspectives. So you're going to get a jump start on that when you attend. Okay. Second to do for marketing is grab your calendar and time block when you are going to work on marketing. And what do I mean by work on it? Look, you can't just say, okay, today I'm going to go door knocking and go door knocking. You have to plan. You have to strategize. You have to prepare. And Bonnie's showing me something. Oh, your calendar. All right. Yes. Good. Good girl. Bonnie is time blocking like a queen, and she's getting it done because you have to work in your business. We have to work on your business, not just in your business. And so you have to have a strategy. If I'm door knocking, what am I going to take with me? Okay. And I have to make sure I have enough of those, and where am I going? And, what's my opening, hello, what's my opening greeting, and all these things. And am I going to take a small gift? And if so, what? So time block when you're going to decide what you're doing. That's to-do item number 2. And then the next one is time blocking when you're actually going to put your plan into action. Okay? So I want you to tell me in the chat if this idea of time blocking every little step along the way is new to you, because I suspect that it may be for many of you. But this is what successful entrepreneurs do. It may look like they are flying by the seat of their pants if you're looking at somebody else, which I say please do not. But I need you to trust the process, trust what I'm saying to you, and take the time to get it in your calendar, because that is when you're going to be able to finally take control of your time and feel like you're in control of your business. So let's review. This is your business. You're in control. I want you to make it what you want it to be, right? And I want you to have fun, because if it's not fun, then why are we doing it? And as I said earlier, I want you to push yourself beyond your comfort zone every single day. I love what Katharine Hepburn says. Hey, if you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun. Certain rules you need to obey, like stopping at a stop sign. But there are too many so-called gurus out there saying you must do marketing this way in real estate, or you must be doing this online this exact way, or you must follow this script because this is the perfect script. It's garbage. Okay? Because what works for me and my personality and the way I am, the way God made me, that may work for me, but may not work for you. So I can't tell you the exact steps you need to take. I can tell you the steps you need to take to figure it out for yourself. And that's what I've begun to do in this webinar for you on focus and marketing to get you to the success you want. So don't worry about what the rules are, because guess what? There are none. All right. And Richard Branson, the master of the Virgin conglomeration, the Virgin Airlines, the Virgin Cell, all these different businesses, he talks about how important fun is. And he says, a business has to be involving. It has to be fun, and it has to exercise your creative side. Has to. Dottie Herman, Douglas Elliman, yes, had to be creative. Think outside the box when she started that business, basically from nowhere. Okay, so if you have questions, I want you to go over to the chat while I just briefly remind you, I want to meet you. I want to personally meet you. And I can tell you, one thing I didn't mention is She's Unstoppable Live is not going to be just like any other real estate conference for so many reasons. Number one, no pitching or sales from the stage, period, the end. That 50-page workbook that you're going to be getting is free. That is part of your ticket admission, cost. Nothing extra. There's no extras that you're going to have to, have rammed down your throat. No sales or pitching from the stage. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's going to be unapologetically girly. We do things different. I know, and this may be stereotypical, but I know a lot of ladies like myself, we love pink, we love bling, we love, the sisterhood and the coming together. So that's exactly what this is going to be. There's going to be a time for learning and a time for networking, but a heck of a lot of time for shopping with the vendors that are outside of the ballroom. And that's going to be real estate vendors as well as personal vendors like jewelry and handbag vendors and things like that, like fun stuff. And we're going to have a cocktail reception at the end of day one, where we're going to have great apps, and we're going to be giving away 6 Livy Girl Awards to deserving ladies in attendance. And I'll tell you more about that if you want follow me on Instagram at Livy Girls, and you're going to be seeing more info on those Livy Girl Awards coming up in the next week or two. But I really want to meet you. And so don't forget about the code REF199 when you go to she'sunstoppable.live.com. All right, I want to stop sharing and I want to go back to where we are here. Okay. Oh, good. Kathy says I have my ticket and a friend in my office is coming with me. That's awesome. By the way, there are many women who are hesitating because they don't have anyone coming with them. Let me tell you something. Go to Girls Guide and there are women hooking up with roommates and finding new friends all the time. So I encourage you, do not let that stop you. I've been following Dottie Herman for a while and listened to her radio show. She's awesome. Yes, she is. You ladies are amazing. Thank you, Colleen. Jennifer says, thank you. I love how you speak direct truth. You're very welcome. Lynn says, Jessica Edwards is great. Reminds me of a car dealer commercial. Wow. Okay. Okay. That guy was a goofball, and so he may not appeal to you, but here's another thing about marketing that is a really good point. And that is, when you market effectively, meaning that you've identified your perfect client, you know what keeps them up at night and what they like to do and what their hobbies are, and you direct your messaging and your look and feel, you speak to them, there's going to be 2 things that happen with your marketing that means it's effective. One is you're going to attract your ideal client. And the second thing is you're going to repel those who are not. And you can't be afraid of that, right? Let me give you an example in my business. And, I'm going to come right out with it because I'm walking my talk, right? So Jesus is a huge part of my life. And I would love him to be a huge part of your life. But I don't ram that down anybody's throat. That's your choice. But because he's such an important part in my life, personal, business, every aspect of my life, I can't not talk about him. And so if you are a friend of mine on Facebook or you're following me anywhere, you're going to see Bible verses. And you're going to hear me claim his name. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but I've got to be me. So I know that there is a certain percentage that are going to be turned off and that's going to repel them. But you know what? My ideal client would not be that person. So, to your point, and who said that about the car dealer, Kathy, the car dealer, that guy, he wouldn't have appealed to me either. I think he's nerdy. I think he is uptight. He strikes me as uptight, like an uptight nerd trying to be funny. And, I could see where you might think he's kind of sleazy and just kind of weird, right? But he would appeal to people who are super comedic and, would appreciate, his vibe. He's not my vibe. So to your point, good marketing is going to attract and it's going to repel at the same time. Okay, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. All right, now if I can grab my cursor and scroll more. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. I do Popeyes, but not door knocking. Okay, Colleen. Popeyes, I want to encourage you that the gift that you give, and it could be like something from the dollar store. And I'm looking at you, Colleen. Love you, girl. We should get together soon because you're right in my neck of the woods. Okay, but I encourage you to knock on that door when you deliver the Popeye, I hope. Or maybe you do. Oh, you do that. Okay, you do that. Okay. But you have an awesome personality And so if it's a safety thing, then go with somebody else. But if it's a scared thing, I'm going to lovingly nudge you to do that. And I know we can't really go individual on that, but all of you ladies, there's nothing better than the face-to-face, right? And second is video. You're getting to know me because you're watching me move and my mannerisms. I talk with my hands a lot. And, I talk fast and I have a certain way about me. And it's very different than Jan. Do you see that? Do you see that Jan and I are very different? I'm more like structured and she's more woohoo. She's more like, but we both do our own thing and that's okay. You've got to be you, right? But when you show up and show your personality and get past the fear and you get the courage to just like do something you really don't want to do, that's what I'm telling you. Magic happens in your business. I'm telling you, I know because it's happened to me. Okay, great. Colleen says, I want to come. I'm looking for a roommate. I can hook you up with a roommate, I think. Okay, Jerry, thank you for this. You're very welcome. Kathy, if anyone's going by theirself, contact me at Kathy@KathyGertz.com. That's awesome. Jackie, I love that about you. Oh, thanks. Jerry, got to run. Have a great day, ladies. Y'all are very different. Yes, we are very different, right, Lynn? Okay, any last minute questions on focus, on marketing, or about anything, or about the conference? And thank you for everything. You are so welcome. I love you, ladies. Do you know that? I want the Women and the Girls Guide to Outrageous Real Estate Success to be the freaking most thriving ladies in real estate that there are. And so that's why we put this conference together, to get us all together to hug and cry. Hey, there's going to be laughter. There's going to be intense like learning, and there's going to be tears. The theme of this thing is Once Upon a Time. And we're going to take you through a journey of women, from little girl to not little girl like us. I'm telling you, it's going to be intense and it's going to be fun and it's going to be so memorable and it's absolutely going to be impactful on your business. We're making darn sure of that. All right, ladies, if there's nothing else, I have all these pop-ups coming in. Gotta run like a movie intro. I laughed, I cried. Yeah. All right, ladies, listen, I love you. I got to run. If you have questions, always come to Girls Guide and post about it. All right, love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in April. Take care. Bye.